Afternoon, people. Liverpool have just played a game in Hong Kong. It was just about to finish 3-1. Liverpool pulled one back and then they decided to give another to AC Milan. It finished 4-2 in the end. I'm trying to do about 10 million things, tweet the show out, change the title, change the hashtags, but we thought we'd just go for an instant reaction show. It's not a transfer daily show for once. She's probably trying to check out the last goal, how it happened,
I
why it
was.
happened. I don't give a crap how it happened. It happened. Um, Junior, you're in the chat. Just change the title and just add a few hashtags. AC Milan and LFC, and this is the kind of stuff I need to do as well. Let the Adam is to know what to add in the title as well. But some great football, Sheen, in the first half, but there was a common theme running throughout the match that once we lost the ball, we were in trouble.
Yeah, Asim, on the transition we looked shaky, if I'm honest. I know it's only a preseason game. We only can go by what we saw, but it seemed like in transition, with the pace of Leao, they've got some decent players, especially on the counter attack, and we saw that with the first goal. When the pace of Leao, there's not many players, defenders who can keep up with Leao. A fit defenders can keep up with Leao when he's on goal and he's in full flow. And we saw that. And I saw you tweet about him regarding one of the best players in the world in terms of transition. And you saw that, and we did struggle. I'm not gonna lie, we played really, really well. I thought in possession we were good. It's just the out of possession that's where Liverpool struggled in the whole game. If I'm honest with you, I felt like we struggled out of possession. But it's only pre-season. The players are getting fit. They're getting the fitness back, all that type of stuff. It's going to take us time. Can't read too much into it. Can't read too much into it. But what are your thoughts in terms of the transitions? What you made of it? What did you make of it?
We'll go to the transitions. Let's go to the team first.
Okay.
Let me just get up share screen. You know what? I can't do it yet. You just go through a few comments if you can in the meantime. It looks like people are joining in from Hussam's stream as well. Thank you so much, Hussam. Big up to you, bro. Chin, just go through a few thingies and I'll get the.
Yeah, I'll go through some of the comments. Look, first and foremost, I just want to caveat that this was a friendly, guys. We need to relax and take a chill pill. I don't want people going absolutely nuts. Oh, we need to do this. We need to do this. I understand in terms of people are probably going to be speaking about a centre back more than anything. Asim not actually centre back. Gay Leone now. In terms of Owen goes, Grav can't play every. Owen Norton, Grav can't play every game. SNH still maintained that we need a 6 as well as one centre back, maybe two centre backs. Sorry.
Wow.
So yeah, I think look, as in mainly the comments are all going to be around the centre back show, because obviously before the game we heard news of Joe Gomez will be returning back to Liverpool with an injury. Look, if I'm honest with you, we know where we stand with Joe Gomez. We always knew that he was going to pick up some sort of injury, but we can talk about that. Ethan Flex, Simicast was absolutely woeful. Look, another Simicast was dreadful. We need Zaire Hanif. We need.
Well, he was playing centre back, to be fair to him.
Yeah. We need centre backs. Look, it's always going to be when you concede 4 goals in a game. It's always going to be question marks regarding the centre backs. Clinton goes, we need a defensive midfielder. We need a defensive midfielder, please. Let Simisaka go for free. Look, it's generally speaking on the defense. Muhammad Amr, good luck, boys. You'll be hit with defensive questions now.
Okay, I've got a theory about the. Look, I'm not going to overanalyze, but as an analyst, it's only right to put it out there and to caveat things, to make sure people are aware. I'm obviously remind myself as well that is very, very, very early days, and the concern is that we saw it in many, many times, Gene, when we used to let Trent go up high and come into midfield, that vacated space. Salah used to tuck in a touch, and we saw different dynamics of that right hand side. And whichever dynamic it was, generally speaking, if Trent came into midfield or Trent stayed really high and wide on the halfway line in the first phase of football of the attack, it meant that we always used to vacate space on the right hand side. I can remember having a really good view of Liverpool versus Crystal Palace at the last day of the season at Klopp's farewell. And you could just see it. And although Crystal Palace played a system really suited to take advantage of that right hand side because they played with the wing back system, you could see what they were trying to do: overload that space, hit the big lad up front, pop it off up to him on the halfway line, connect, and then runners from those areas, and with the wing backs running in behind, or sometimes even running into space because of how many bodies we used to commit on that right hand side. And that dynamic in different variations has still stayed. But what I will say is it's a bit of an intriguing situation to keep an eye out on. Why is why have we seen bits of Szoboszlai in the right wing? Is it just a fitness issue? Is he trying to get some minutes into his legs? And one thing I will say is Szoboszlai in the right back area. What it allows us is the two variations that we're trying to get into a right back, where it's the intensity of Frimpong, the intensity and the movement of Bradley, and the progressive passing of Trent last year. If you combine them, I think it is in Szoboszlai. What Szoboszlai has got the intensity and the speed and the movement of Frimpong and Bradley, but what he has that those two others don't have in general, on a general basis, is the pass from a standing position to switch it on the left hand side, or that pass to come whilst in motion and play it quickly across the ground and to keep the speed up in the attack. And I think what it also allows is he's got that pass from a standing position into midfield, because at the moment, I think to really nullify a low block, he has to let that right back go right up to the top of the box.
Yeah.
And although in an ideal situation, you're using that man, you're occupying centre backs, but the moment you lose it, and when you're facing a transition monster in someone like Rafael Leao, then it becomes a bit more predictable, and what you're losing an extra body on the counter attack. If you've got that pass from a standing position into midfield, if you do lose it, that defender hasn't overcommitted.
Agreed.
So I think that is the idea. It'll be interesting to see if he uses it more. But look, it's early days. But look, it is quite evident that we got caught many times on the counter attack. And in the Premier League, Gene, you've got plenty. I'm not saying every team's got Rafael Leao. I've just mentioned Crystal Palace. Where did they finish in the league? And they will have players who can hurt you, Eze, Mateta, in different ways. So look, every Premier League team in general, especially in the top 15, has one or two players that can play for a really bad Champions League team. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So that is the level. But look, caveat everything. It's very early days. We will be better when we've got the likes of McAllister to slow the tempo down and attack at the right time. We've got Kanate switching across, and everyone generally, a lot fitter. So I think Liverpool played some good football in the first half. But tell me what caught your eye.
Asim, I think it caught everybody's eye. I think two performances probably were from Wirtz and Szoboszlai. I thought they were really, really good. We were all waiting to see Szoboszlai start. It was really, really good to see him in the starting lineup. We, obviously slightly different, playing in a false 9 position or double 10 with Elliott at times, but he was the one that we wanted to see, and I think we saw enough. And Rio as well, Ash mentioned. Rio's another player that I've got to give props to. Them three were probably the ones that really, really, really stood out. Wirtz, Asim, we were dying to see him play, and watching him play, man. Just the silky little touches. He can come deep, know where every player is, play a pass, no fear about where he is on that football pitch. You know that this kid is a generational footballer, and that is something that we've we've not seen. Liverpool have not been used to seeing a 10 of the caliber of Florian Wirtz. We've played 4-3-3 for a number of years now, and to have a player like him playing in that hole, come, receive, knock, play off, go inside, play that last ball. He could have had 2 assists today. Salah, I don't know. Any other bloody game, Salah would have gone for a shot. He never passes in that position, yeah? And this time he tried to play that pass. There's another one where he played into Elliott. If there was a proper number 9 on the end of that, he puts that away. But you can just see how good he is. Szoboszlai in that position as well from the left-hand side. I thought he had a really, really good first half. But Rio, man, I treated this Asim, I've been crying out, saying we need a guy that's got pace who can go on the outside. And within, first, I thought first 15, 20, he was a bit quiet. He wasn't really seeing enough of that ball. But when then he came alive for about 15 minutes, he became alive. And you saw how good of a footballer Rio is, only at the age of 16, being able to receive the ball, go on the. Timori's a decent defender, being able to say, right, I'm good enough to go on the outside. Did that 2 or 3 times in that 15-20-minute cameo. He's a really, really good footballer. And look, I think we had a quick 5-minute conversation at halftime about him. Maybe he is the 5th, 6th attacker for Liverpool this season.
Ask you, that was my next question to you, Gene. And have you seen the news that's just broke from Fabrizio? That apparently, I think it was from Fabrizio, that Malik Fofana is in advanced negotiations with our neighbours.
Well, there you go then. That just tells you. I think if you're looking at Rio's performances in pre-season and you're thinking, okay, 16-year-old lad, 6th attacker, I think we go with Rio right now. I think that has to be the aim now, because he's shown enough glimpses to say, okay, this kid is a good footballer. We just have to give him time to settle, to get going. Yes, the final pass, there's maybe a little question mark. With lad 16, it will come with time, and with the you mentioned many a times he's got Salah as his mentor, guiding him, helping him, telling him exactly what to do, what not to do. And he couldn't have asked for more. But who caught your eye? Asked me. Obviously, for me, it was them 3. But who caught your eye in the first half?
Look, you've mentioned Wirtz. I wrote an essay on him during halftime, and I'm telling you, be prepared to wax lyrical about Florian Wirtz on a weekly basis. The guy is just going to be a magician, honestly. And I don't give a crap if I get clipped. I'm not comparing to these 2 players that I'm going to mention, but I'm going to mention a couple of players that he can be a Tony Kroos if he likes, if he comes into the deep areas. Obviously, he's not a Tony Kroos. Please, I have to caveat that. But he's got the intelligence of someone coming in deep and just keep ticking it, keep it ticking. If he's on top of the box behind, he's got his back to goal, he'll pop it off to the centre back, pop it off to the midfielder, because he'll know someone's touch tight. But the moment he knows that I've come into an area and I need to accelerate play, and the way he accelerates play, Gene, is mesmerizing, because everything seems like the ball is glued to his feet. Yeah. But and not only that, is he moves in one motion. So he turns, he moves, he pivots, and he's facing play all of a sudden. And then anything is possible. He can burst like Iniesta. I'm not saying again, I have to caveat everything. He's not Iniesta, but the way Iniesta used to burst from tight spaces and it combine, and that combination 2-3 times that we saw with Salah, I think that is going to be a real mainstay in the Liverpool side, because them guys are on the same level, IQ, intelligence, and the way that they're going to combine over the course of the season, I think is something to look forward to. And yeah, I can wax lyrical about Florian Wirtz. I will do it on a consistent basis, like I said. But I was impressed with Rio as well, obviously. But Szoboszlai's position really intrigued me, because this is the reason why I think he's going to get a lot of minutes in the team. I don't think he's going to start as number 6 on paper. But what he is going to do, he's going to start at the number 10 position, and he's going to start when we need to give McAllister a bit of a rest from the left-sided midfield. And he plays it differently. But what he does give is, even from that side, Gene, because he comes into the double pivot with Tyler Morton today, or Gravenberch in the second half. First half. what he's going to give us is that switch, what we miss from Trent on the right hand side. He's going to give it us from the left hand side. And when he picks up deep positions, he can put it through midfield with a whipped cross, or he can ping it 60, 70 yards to slot out wide. And I think that is his natural body. They call it angle bias, where your natural body positioning is coming inside and whipping a ball or shooting, as we saw with the goal. And the guy's got legs, and with that goal that he scored, where we saw the inverting Gravenberch, the carrier, he pinged it 70 yards to Rio, who isolated the fullback. And then because he came to the ball and then Gravenberch pinged it, he's got the legs to join the attack. Yeah. And that is the beauty about Szoboszlai, not on just on the left-hand side. Wherever he is, he'll either stop transitions or he'll join the attack because of his leg power. So I was really intrigued. And he only got into that position because he bust a gut to get into that position and, score. And that's what we want to see. We wanted to see this sort of goal from him last year. But I think because now we've got the perfect number 10, I think we'll see more of Dominik Szoboszlai in a different light, because all of a sudden the number 10, where naturally speaking that any number 10's got the attention on and the responsibility to instigate things. And when you come with 116 million price tag in Florian Wirtz, you need to be pretty special to live up to that. And I think he will. What it also gives is Szoboszlai now a bit of a time away from the limelight to just do his thing. And I think that's going to be very, very important for him, because I don't think he's that kind of guy where we just put every single thing and just burden everything on him, because I think people just expected output from him. But because he gives so much in his role, I think it's unfair to say, look, he needs more output. Yes, it's an area for improvement, but I don't think it should have got outshadowed of what he provides this team, especially now what we've been talking about, the right back being, in really advanced areas. He will make sure that he acts like a guy who snuffs out danger as well. And when we've got them all on the pitch, in Gravenberch, he reads the game really well. Szoboszlai, wherever he's playing, Frimpong, Bradley, and Kerkez. If we don't have a natural destroyer, we need all these guys, and Kanate as well, I forgot, on the pitch, Gene, because we don't have a natural destroyer. So people want more physicality in that center of the pitch. I think it's a learning thing and a learning curve for Arne Slot. And in a way, it might be a blessing in disguise why we've conceded these types of goals in pre-season, because the manager will be looking at it and I'm sure he'll put it right. Anyone caught your eye in the second half?
No, not really, Asim. If I'm truly honest, I thought Frimpong he was probably our likely, a player that caused some sort of problems to AC Milan. He was probably the one, a few times where, we saw Frimpong come in the outside, beat his man, got fouled a few times. I was happy with Frimpong's performance. I thought this is what I expected to see from him, especially with the players that were around him. The others, Asim, Ben Doak, honestly, I'm not going to lie, I didn't see his name get mentioned. I didn't even see his name get mentioned for the first 30 minutes of the second half. Nayoni, quite a few straight passes, wasn't fully at the races today. More on a couple of decent passes, not really.
I think Frimpong was lively.
He was the only. This is what I said. Frimpong is the only one who was the lively one out of the second half. Gakpo had a few decent touches. He got his goal, but no. I think, look, the first half and second half, it was a completely different, you could tell there was quite a lot of players in the first half that were probably even from the first team, and the second half they weren't. There was only a few. Kirk's standard performance. I can't really pinpoint anyone that was played really well. If I'm gonna be blatantly honest with you, Asim, anyone caught your eye? Anyone that you saw, maybe you can see him in the squad for next season, especially from the new guys? Or sorry, especially from the young players.
No. I think when you make so many changes, it's very, very difficult. I think Tyler Morton played a few good balls first half, and when he came in second half as well. But I think when you make so many changes, and I think AC Milan grew in confidence as well. And when you don't have Salah and Wirtz and these kind of guys, and Van Dijk at the back as well, any team is going to grow in confidence as well. But I was going to ask you if there was ever an audition for a player against Liverpool, even though it's pre-season. I think Rafael Leao did his reputation no harm. We've talked about his transition and counter-attacking threat, and I just posted a picture, during the game where they were in like a 6-3-1 or a 6-4. But I said, if you've got someone like Rafael Leao in the team who is a transition monster, then you can defend this deep and you can defend like that. Generally speaking, but I think honestly he was really, really good. There was a moment where Bradley isn't slow, Chin. He's not slow. He's pretty nippy, and he made Conor Bradley like chase shadows, especially on one of those occasions where when he glides and when he's in stride, there's not many that can catch him. I don't think anyone can catch him, Chin,
You can't.
when he's got the burners.
This is why I have been a massive fan of him. And when we've been talking about replacements, of course, everybody likes Gordon, but Leao has always been this next one. I've always said, go and get Leao. And everybody's got an issue with his work rate, all that type of stuff. If this lad was playing for Liverpool, you believe you me, he would work his socks off for the team. He'd run up and down for the team, because you're playing for the team. That's an unbelievable side. When you've got unbelievable players around you who are probably better than you, and when you see them running around, you will start running around. I thought Leao was sensational today. Every time, there was a couple of times where the final ball, once in the first half, he missed that final ball. When Dominic Szoboszlai got there. He just looked a menace. He really looked a menace. When he's in full flow, there's not many players that can stop him. Not many.
How much? Fofana obviously was the choice. Like, you can't rule out anything when it comes to Liverpool this season. If you thought we're going to be buying Isak and Florian Wirtz and all the players that have come through the door this summer, now anything is possible, Chin. We're going to be selling quite a few players over the course of the next 2-3 weeks. How much, and the chat can get involved as well, how much would he realistically cost? Does he have a release clause around about 60 million?
I think for 70 million. And another thing I want to say, Asim, he's got good link-up play. I actually saw a few times where he held the ball up. There's that I think it was one of the goals. Was it one of the goals or one of the misses where he played off a little thing, he played the ball off and they were on the counter attack. It was a goal. I really like him, man. And look, end of the day, we do have a lot of money. We've got sellable assets, and if he's the name that's mentioned, I would be really happy if we managed to get him through the door. Say 65 million, but I think they'll probably get around 70 for him. They want
65 million pounds or euros?
Pounds. Yeah. And he would have on toast a lot of defenders in the Premier League. He's a proper footballer, man, and you could tell. I've just never understood when people have always said to me that he doesn't work. He's not this. Oh, yeah, come on, man. The guy is playing for AC Milan. If he was out of Liverpool, he would work his socks off. If we can get Cody Gakpo, who me and Asim, let's face it, 2 years ago, we felt that, this guy doesn't have the work rate to track back, hence why Diaz starts. If he started working hard, you don't think bloody Rafael Leao is going to start working hard playing for the Liverpool? Of course he would. But can I see it happening? His numbers make sense, Asim. If you look at him, goals and assists over the last few years are pretty decent. Playing especially for a Milan team. At Liverpool, this guy would bang. There's no doubt that this guy would bang. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'd love for us to sign him. I think he's got an unbelievable ceiling. We just need to fine-tune him and get him right. But whether we go for him is another question, because I think the biggest issue right now for us, Asim, isn't the forward area. The biggest issues for us is at and Asim actually mentions, is at the back. And this is what I wanted to speak to you about. What did you make? Look, we have to caveat this with, obviously, there's Tsimikas playing at centre back, Gravenberch playing in the centre back area. It just, it wasn't our front four, all that type of stuff. The midfield wasn't the same. But generally speaking, we got caught on the counter attack a few times. The defense didn't look amazing at all, if I'm honest. We're already a player short in Gomez. We have to really be in the transfer market, number one, for a defender. But your thoughts on the defense?
My thoughts on the defense were what the thoughts were just prior to kickoff, Gene. I tweeted, just go pay whatever it is for Gehi. Honestly, we can't just take any risks. Can we really? If we don't get Isak, we've still got Ekitike. We'll probably bring in. We might even look at Rodrigo on his wages as well. We might just do something elsewhere as well, like a versatile forward. But you can guarantee that versatile forward, whoever it is going to be a good player. But the centre back area is concerning me. I've always said, even regardless of Kwanzaa going, we never replaced Matip, Gene. Now
You've
we've
always
lost
said we need
Matip.
to. To be fair, you've
We
always said
always
we
said
need
we
to.
need to. We've never replaced Matip. Question mark against Kanate's in fitness. A massive question mark against Gomez's fitness. Now, at the moment, we've got two fit centre backs. Two fit centre backs, and we're doing bits with Shimikas. We're doing bits with Robertson, and it's very, very easy to sort of build a reputation. Like during the season, Manchester City, you could see the panic the moment they were losing the ball. Why? Because it just got in their head the moment they lost it, because they were wide open and they didn't have the legs in midfield. You could see the panic. It affected the team. And I'm not saying we're going to be at that, hopefully at that level, but we need to shore it up, and we need to sort it out. And it doesn't matter if Gehi is going to come and is going to be sat on the bench. He needs to come. He needs to get used to the way we play. At the moment, he's been playing for the last year or two in a wing back system, being expected to carry the ball from a third centre back, middle centre back, wherever he is. He needs to come. And I know he's an established Premier League player, leader, experienced, and all that sort of stuff. But this is a different level, and some people can't even cope with the pressure. I think he will cope with the pressure, but it's hypothetically speaking, isn't it? He needs to come, and if we have to pay an extra 5 million for him to get him in, 2-3 weeks early, I think we have to. We can't let that area look really, really bare. And I told you on the phone, the moment that news came out about Joe Gomez getting injured, and I said, you know what, Mark Gehi's transfer value just increased by £5 million.
There you go. And I think 100% it has. And if you look at this defensive thing, it's not like we've not signed a centre back since Kanate. That's a long time. We've not. Okay, I understand defenders probably might not want to come because they know they're probably going to be fourth choice to start with. We've sold Kwanzaa. His replacement hasn't even come in yet. If going into a season, if you are counting Joe Gomez in your front as your fourth centre back, Asim, it's not enough. You know, deep down, everybody knows he's never played a full season. I think he's injured he's injured for at least half of it. Quarter of it, then he's probably not going to make it, and he plays for a quarter of a season. So you simply cannot go on a title charge with having a player like Joe Gomez as your fourth choice, who's our third choice right now, and think this is enough, because it's not enough. We have to go into the transfer market, and I agree with you. I would rather us now go in hard and go bring in a couple of centre backs, and just gives us a bit of a surety in that area, because it is beginning to worry me now. It really is.
Jamie mentions something. If we play a little deeper, 3 of them goals don't happen. Jamie, with respect, that doesn't make sense, brother. Because when you're a possession-based team and AC Milan are just sitting off us, then the onus and the responsibility is on the possession-based team to, attack them. You can't sit deeper and have the ball as well. It just doesn't work. If you're a front foot team, you're dependent on how deep and how the opposition is defending. It doesn't matter how deep you are, because you've got the ball. So I don't get that statement. If we play a little deeper, then we have to give up the ball then and play deeper and play on the counter attack. But 9 out of 10 times we're gonna have the ball, and it's dependent on how AC Milan defend. So yeah, I think those goals. If you just joined the show, I explained it in the first 5-10 minutes. Is because of that right back issue, and I think we're overcommitting numbers, not playing deeper as our defensive line. Is Bradley our only right back? From Frimpong seems to be Salah's backup. I think Frimpong. There's another question mark against Bradley's fitness, Gene, because I don't think Bradley's going to play 3 games every 10 days. Is because he hasn't proved it. He hasn't proved it. And if we're really honest, we're going to see Bradley break down this season as well. Is because one, he hasn't got those 50, 60 games in a season. And two is because of the style of his play and how much responsibility that right back incurs, because you have to act like a right back, you have to act as an 8, and then act as a number 10 as well. It's so intense. And let's be honest, we're going to see Frimpong at right back is because there's another question mark on Bradley's fitness as well. So it's imperative we get a player like Gehi, and we've also been talking about a second youngster because that succession plan in Van Dijk needs to come. We're over reliant on Van Dijk on and off the pitch, but we have to get this sorted. And I think, look, we have to say these guys have not let us down this summer, Gene. Yes, it looks a bit desperate at the moment, but I think they will know that, and in the next week or two, they will act, and they have to act.
Yeah, look, Asim, I've got no doubt that Liverpool will be in the market for the centre back. That goes without saying. We will be, we're in for Gay, which I'm confident we will get over the line. So let's just say Gay will be at this football club, right? That's fine. I'm happy with that, Gay, Kanate. But we need one project, not even a project, a good centre back who you can work with. That's why I tweeted today that go for Leone, man. He's a good player. He's young. You're sort of succession planning. He reminds me of a Hoyson a year ago before he became the player. And sometimes you got to bring in a player of that sort of ilk. He's got the height. I don't want a short one, especially if he's signing Gay. I want a tall one. He's got the height, ball playing centre back, good on his feet, good in the air. And it makes sense. You bring in experience, and then you look at somebody who's good, good up and coming, coming through, good defender who fits the Liverpool way. And I think these two would be, for me anyway, because look, we can't bring in a Gay and a Lukeba. That's not happening. It's not happening. You bring in one good player and one project, you bring them together, and let's say, okay, Leone, if you're good enough, let's start, try to see how good you are playing for Liverpool. That's how it's going to be. And them two would be two players that I would want come through the door if we had if we could get them through the door. And our board, Asim, they've done unbelievably well. We will get the players that we need. I don't think they are going to leave us short. Cresswell's another one that TR's mentioned. He's another one that we have been linked to. So look, they are doing their work. We just have to take one step at a time. It is pre-season, new players coming in, all these, we had Simicas playing centre back, the guy's not even going to be at this football club as it sounds of it. So, we need to be relaxed about it. By the way, guys, nearly 700 of you in the chat. Smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We have a load of content coming your way, especially over the next few weeks. There's quite a few. You can see a lot of new faces, new names in the chat today. So obviously, I'm glad you probably will have subscribed because you can't comment if you haven't. So big up to you all. But Asim, a player that I wanted to speak to you about, Harvey Elliott. Of course, there's obviously news come out. I think it was yesterday. Lewis Steele mentioned Harvey Elliott. It looks like he's probably going to be on the move. I think it was Paul Joyce actually who said Harvey Elliott's probably going to be on the move this summer. Number one, what did you make of his performance today? And number two, the writing's definitely on the wall. I think it's high time where he needs to find a football club where he wants to go and we get a decent fee.
Yeah, 100%. Look, he's a Liverpool fan, really down-to-earth guy, really nice family. I've met his family as well on many occasions, and they have a lot of time for you as well. And you can tell that, he's a kid that's been brought up the right way, and he loves the club. He wears his heart on his sleeve. But on the pitch, and especially, when you're faced with a low block and he pops up in certain situations, certain pockets, he can move the ball quickly. He's got a pop shot as well on him. He's got a few important goals like we've seen. But when there's an aggressive press, especially when it's a man-to-man press, Gene, where you're expected to beat someone by dropping a shoulder and turning away, just like how Ryan Gravenberch does. Just back, okay, he's got back from holiday. That's fine, but I think he will struggle to find time. Slot as many times as said it, he's not a winger, so he can't take a player on. And then we've just bought the best number 10 in the world. Szoboszlai has just played left side of midfield and shown the physicality, qualities that you need in this slot team. And if we don't have a natural destroyer. If we've got our right back playing in number 10 positions, then we need players to, jump on the press or get back into positions. But Harvey Elliott, although he's got little intensity in many different ways, but he just doesn't have the legs to cover space, and that he will struggle. And what I just meant is, if he's, if a team is just sitting off us, he can just be the guy that just retains the ball, keeps it ticking. He's got a decent switch on him as well. But over the course of a season, I don't think he's gonna have many minutes. And if you have only around about 5 minutes last season when Florian Wirtz wasn't in the team, then you're gonna really struggle to get into this team. Yes, he doesn't look fit. He could get better, but I don't mind if he stays in the squad and if he's happy with that, where he gets, Carabao minutes, FA Cup minutes, and stuff like that. But I think he needs to look at the situation himself, and he'll be thinking, I'm fourth choice, number 10. Fourth choice. Where Szoboszlai,
Liverpool keep a fourth choice number 10 that's worth 50 million pounds.
I don't think so. And if I'm really honest, I don't want Harvey Elliott to be at the club if it's costing us a 60, 70 million signing elsewhere. If you tell me we can get 40 million for Harvey Elliott, and we can use that 40 million and go spend it on another centre back, or go spend it on another left winger or a versatile attacker, then I'd say, yeah, bring him in. So that is the reality of the situation when it comes to Harvey Elliott. Obviously, he will want to do well at Liverpool, but there's no versatility. That is this big problem, Gene, where we've seen diminutive type of players, like Bernardo Silva, but Bernardo Silva is at the top of the game. I know he's not the same player anyway now, but over the course of the years, he has popped up in midfield. He's played, in double pivot situation. Yeah. And Harvey Elliott, unfortunately, cannot do that because he doesn't know how to protect the ball in deeper areas like Bernardo Silva can. How many times Bernardo Silva is the master of, just dropping a shoulder here and there, just making the ball move left and right, and just keep the aggressive presser guessing, and he bypasses it and he keeps the ball ticking. Harvey Elliott, unfortunately, doesn't have that skill. And I said many times, if you're half as good as Bernardo Silva, then you might have a career at Liverpool. But unfortunately, at the moment, it feels like he needs to go elsewhere, develop as a player, get back. And then if it means that him developing into a really good Premier League player, I hope he does for his own sake, because he's a really good lad. And as Crypto Z says, Elliott lacks the athleticism to play midfield and the pace to play on the wing. That is summed up perfectly by that statement. Going on to, before we go, Gene, we didn't see Diaz in the squad. We didn't see Darwin Núñez in the squad. Is that because their potential new teams are saying, you know what, they can't play because they might get injured?
Possibly. We saw Diaz who didn't take part in the game against Plymouth. What game was it? Plymouth. Was he in the squad for the Plymouth game?
Diaz, he played against Preston, didn't he?
Yeah, Preston, sorry. Yeah, look, sorry, I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, look, sorry, guys. Yeah. I think it's their time's up, Asim. I think Liverpool will probably be watching. No, look, he wasn't in the Preston.
He was playing against Stoke, though, no?
Oh, he played against Stoke, but not against Preston. No, Stoke, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I mean that. No, he didn't play. Anyway, I think the writing's on the wall for both of them. We know Bayern Munich are in for Luis Diaz, which hope, what we've been led to have been told is a second bid, a proper bid is coming. Darwin Núñez as well as him. I think the writing's on the wall for him. We know there's interest from Saudi Arabia. I don't know if there's the other interest from Juventus or the other clubs are coming, but we're not taking any chances. We're not taking any chances with these players. They're worth a lot of money to us, and especially if we're all in on the Isak train, we can't take any chances. And it's time to move on.
More breaking news. Apparently, Sesko is not involved in Leipzig's friendly versus Toulouse. So on the same subject.
Yeah. So, it looks like he's going to be going to Newcastle, and Newcastle are going to probably want to try and play 4-4-2 with Wissa and Sesko as the two strikers. So look, Asim, we know these players, they're going to move. You know that, I know that, they know that, the club knows that. It's just about making sure we get the right deal and we are able to bring in the reinforcements and the players that we want, i.e.
Ooh.
Alexander Isak.
Uh,
I can't hear you, Asim.
Arnie Slot on the centre-back situation. I don't think we have a concern at centre-back. Wow. Looking at Van Dijk, Ryan showed he can play that position. He did it as well as although we favour him as a number 6. Vatahendo can play there. So we have enough options, but it is true that Jarell Konsa left and we haven't replaced him yet. It looks like at face value, my concern is that the actual club actually believe this, that yes, Kwanzaa has left, we need to replace him. So, but because we're relaxed with the situation, with the Gady situation, is we want him and we will probably do a deal with him in later on in the window because we think Crystal Palace might be a bit more open to accepting the kind of fee that we think he is valued at. But because Endo can do bits, because Gravenberg can do bits.
Something wrong with your mic, Asim. It's not as clear, you know. I think you're connected to your connection might have gone from your mic. I can't hear you at all. Now, before I could hear you, but I think it was picking up your computer mic. Speak now.
No.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so I was explaining, I think the club actually think the reason why they relaxed about the situation, is that all right? Am I sound okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Because the thing, Gravenberg can do bits at centre-back, Endo can do bits at centre-back. I kind of believe that I feel like they actually believe this, Gene, and that's a bit concerning to me.
I think that's look concerning, but I'm concerned, but not as concerned in a sense of that doesn't tell me they're not buying a centre back.
Breaking news. Arnie Slot confirms Luis Diaz was left out due to speculation. Chutti then, innit?
Chutti, innit? Chutti. I think we all look deep down. We all know what's gonna happen. Do you understand? We all know what's gonna happen. What did he say about Darwin Núñez, by the way?
Injury.
Okay, interesting.
So it looks like
Luis Diaz, his time's up. So he said Darwin's injured. I don't know. Maybe because Darwin did play one of the games. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe his deal isn't as minor injury, isn't as far down the line as
these
the others.
minor injuries, Gene. These minor
I know
injuries.
these minor injuries. We've got some Newcastle fans in the chat as well. Minor injuries, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens to your player that's got a minor injury. But yeah, look, I think their writing's on the wall. I think we just need to make sure we bring in the replacements. But I'm not too fussed about what Slot said because I think Asim, he's not exactly going to come out and say, yeah, we need centre backs. Do you understand? You know, if you
True. I accept that. Yeah.
He's not. Yeah. So he's not, then obviously the price goes up of every single player that we're going to go for. So he'll go for one. I think we bring in one. But I know where you're going with this. You're saying he's one and not another.
Yeah.
And we don't need two. I believe we need two though. But I think we're just gonna sign one.
Okay. TK, let's leave it there, Gene. We've been going for 45 minutes. There's still nearly 700 people in the building. And we haven't asked people to smash a like and subscribe to the channel. I can guarantee you there'll be at least, going by the information that YouTube give you in the back office, that 46% of our viewers are non-subscribers. Let's get that percentage down. And whenever I see that on the page, honestly, it proper hurts me. Come on, people, if you enjoy our content, even if you don't enjoy our content, just subscribe to the channel. You don't need to watch us. But even if you're an Arsenal fan,
I'm going to ask you a question and I'll give you a load of shit.
Go on.
Did you put the subscriber only chat today when we changed it? You didn't, did you?
No, I
knew you didn't. You know why? Because there's so many new people on this chat today. So many new people that are on this chat today, right? And I had a feeling.
Now?
No, you can't do it now. You idiot. You're supposed to do it before the show and you forgot. And I was thinking to myself, I bet this guy's forgot. And
so why didn't you tell me? Put it in
I just remembered now. I just remembered right now. I thought all these people, because I just checked the subscribers and I thought, you know what? There's so many new people. We'll have seen a massive jump, yeah? I see we'll have seen a massive jump. And guess what? It didn't. And I'm like, bloody hell. But chalo, guys, there's quite a lot of new people on this chat today, smash that like button and definitely subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. We really, really appreciate it. But yeah, Asim, I think we are good to go for today.
Okay, if something breaks, we'll be back. I don't think we are going tonight. Are we, Gene?
No, not tonight. I think I'm done. I need a day off.
Okay.
No, evening off.
Okay. TK people, there we are. There's no 10:30 show tonight, hence why we wanted to come on straight away after the game so we can spend the rest of the Saturday afternoon talking about centre backs and Darwin Núñez and let me watch this. Oh, look at this, man. Look at this. Rasmalai. Asim and Sajua fuck off for subscribers. Brother, if you spend 3 times a day in front of the camera, then there's no shame in asking people to subscribe and like. And I hope, Rasmalai, you will create a YouTube channel. So sometimes you have to be a bit puka as well for subscribers. But I wish you all the success if you ever do, brother. Thank you so much. Oh, here we go. Arsenal fans think they win the league. Arsenal fans are tactically breaking down Liverpool's setup. Here we are. They have no shame.
Second.
They have no shame.
Second.
They have no shame. They have no shame, these guys. And then they say, oh, why is everyone obsessed with Arsenal? Because you're bloody talking about Liverpool's preseason game that they've just played the Champions League final. Anyway, on that note, go all abuse Sulman in the chat, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, and bye for now.